guest right now on the live line. We have labor and employment attorney and founder of Bell Law Group, PLLC, Mr. Jonathan Bell, on the live line. In this next sentence, Jonathan, it's not something I ever thought would come out of my mouth, but I agree with New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. I really do. You know, it's weird for me to say that because I just don't respect his politics, but this Americans First law is really a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I don't know what the holdup is with it. I can tell you that with these small business loans, part of that PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, they put limitations on how you could spend it. It had to go to your employees. You had to rehire your employees. Same thing with mid-sized businesses through a Main Street program. There was limits on executive compensation and employee retention. But for some reason, you know, they're issuing $500 billion to bail out big corporations, and there's no strings attached. There's no limit on distribution to the executives. There's no limit on distribution to shareholders. There's no requirement to retain workers. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
All right. So what does the Americans First law require?
So American First Law is basically putting in these limitations, saying, hey, if the government is bailing you out and giving you $500 billion essentially in bailouts, you can't give this money to the executives, you can't give it to shareholders, and you need to retain workers. I mean, that's basically what the proposal is, doing similar limitations to the small businesses and medium-sized businesses.
And so, with that being said, they can't hire illegals, they can't hire anybody outside of American citizenship either, right?
Yeah, I don't know if Cuomo really went into that much detail in this proposal. I think it's more of what the general idea is, but you're most likely right. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
That needs to be part of it. All right, and he said you have to hire the same number of employees you had before. You can't just boost your profits.
Exactly. Similar to listen, a lot of the small businesses were 500 employees or less. They were required to do this, right, because they want to get people off unemployment. The numbers came out; they were scary, right? We're over 14% unemployment, and some people are saying we're really closer to 20 because those numbers were taken mid-April. So with 20% employment, 20 million people lost their jobs since March due to this pandemic. You got to get people working again. So just to essentially hand out this money to big corporations with no strings attached, so they could use it for their own compensation is just wrong.
Yeah. So, what are the odds that this is going to happen?
I'd say not very high, unfortunately. I think this was just more of Cuomo putting it out there to get everybody become aware of the situation of what's happening. Because really, the government has already pretty much decided, and the Democrats are saying that they were pressured to in order to pass the other packages that this were, and the Republicans are saying that these entities are publicly traded, so they're going to have to disclose it anyway, and they feel like that pressure is going to deter them from spending the money appropriately.
Well, they're both kind of right. I mean, they're both kind of right. We had to get it done, and with this latest, there's so much pork in these things that it's just sickening at the level that it's going through and the amount of money that we're going to have to pay back. It's sickening that they're adding anything at all, but this part of it, I agree with.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that it was impressive. Just from layman's terms, it was very impressive how quickly they were able to get these PPP loans to small businesses, both in the first round and when they found that wasn't enough for the second round. It's definitely helping your everyday Joe employer, less than 500 employees. So, I applaud both the Republicans and Democrats to work together, even though there was some back and forth while it was going on, like there always is, to actually issue the payments to the employers.
I wonder
how many
of them read it.
It was supposed to help people for a period of 8 weeks when we were supposed to get back on our toes and get back to work. At least here in New York, where I live, I mean, that's not happening anytime soon. So the question is, what's next?
I feel bad for y'all in New York because, man, line of fire, man. That's where you are.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I'm personally in Long Island, which is following the same trend of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows when things are going to get back to normal. I'm happy to see that other parts of the country are reopening, and even other parts of the state of New York. But we're going to be lagging behind because we're just not reaching those numbers that we're required to reach to reopen.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're reopening all over the place. Thank you, Jesus. My Lord. I couldn't wait to get back out there. But it's not the case for everywhere. Jonathan Bell is an attorney with Bell Law Group, PLLC. How do they learn more about this and what you do, Jonathan?
I always post free videos on Facebook and LinkedIn, so look me up on the Bell Law Group. If you're an employer or an employee and want to learn your rights, or if you have any questions, call me. My number is very easy, 855-JOHN-BELL, JONBELL.
There you go. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.